Welcome to the People's Guild.
Each week we explore the Splinterland universe with guests from all across the mythical land of Pretoria.
Join us on our journey as we discuss the evolution of the game, the strategy, the lore, and the exciting path that lies ahead.
To support the People's Guild, make sure you subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts, and also check us out on PeakD, YouTube, and Twitter.
To send your questions, suggestions, and epic battles in our comments through Twitter or email at thepeoplesguildspl@gmail.com. We'll feature the best in our episodes and maybe airdrop you some prizes. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the People's Guild. Another week, another episode, another great guest. It's been a little while since we hosted this guy. We're back after a little bit of a reprieve last week. We've had typhoons and work and real life stuff get in the way, but we're back and all lights are green. And we welcome back to the show BreakingBenjamin, none other than Joey, King of Lore at Kingdom Splinterlands. So welcome back, Joey. Always good to hang.
Well, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. So we were talking quite a bit off air. There's all of a sudden a whole bunch of stuff going on. It felt like there was a little bit of a period of stagnation with no big updates. And then all of a sudden we get this influencer town hall, the announcement of conflicts, talking about the brand new card, the conflict mechanics. There's some new UX stuff out there. We were just talking about a couple of things off air. Joey, why don't you tell us? I want to be mindful of your time and you know what you want to tell the world. So why don't we hand the baton over to you and you tell us where do we want to kick things off? What's got you excited and going?
Well, I'm glad we got Conclave Arcana out the door. As we were talking about, I'm working on a blog post just to let people know how I came up with the idea for the set, the cards. So I think it'd be cool to release that and people be like, oh, where did Gorgug the Endless come from? Or the Bristleborn Brigand and all those dudes. Going into that. Also getting ready for, I think we're releasing, right now the plan is reward cards next. So we should be getting at least like the races and attack types for those next week. So I'll start looking at how are they going to fit into the lore for Conclave Arcana. As you may or may not know, Conclave Arcana is based around these bloodline archons who lead like little war bands against the Conclave Arcana. So in each one of the territories, you might have Iridium Greybrow fighting up against the Grimbardoon dwarves up in the Great Lowlands, or Polyphila, the gnome, Conclave Arcana female, fighting against the Elund up in the pristine Northwest, et cetera, around all the territories. So how are we going to work in the reward cards? How are they going to fit in the story? We did that with Rebellion. I look forward. I'm excited to see how that's going to shape up, and we'll probably see some new races, maybe some new bloodline stuff. I don't know, and how all that will work in with the upcoming legendary summoners for Conclave Arcana.
Man, we got to get you just taught me how to pronounce half of the names that I have no clue how to pronounce, including Ulund. I've heard Ulund. I've heard I don't know what else I've heard. I've heard just about everything except what you just said. So if we could get like a click to voice on the card, that'd be cool.
I think it depends. That'd be cool. I think it depends on where you're from in Pretoria. It's probably all pronounced differently. Like,
oh, there you go.
Okay. Potato, Elund.
There you go. That makes sense too. That's perfectly logical. I like that.
Ulund. Awesome. Well, I'm going to butcher, my memory is going to fail me in terms of when we last had you on, but I know we had you on just after Rebellion launched, and we talked through a couple of specific cards that were particularly meaningful to you, including Rush and my boy Rekla. For very personal and sentimental reasons, you guys go back and listen to that episode. It's a great listen, also featuring Joey. Uh, why don't we start there, Joey? Is there a particular card or a couple of cards that have some personal sentiment that you'd be keen to share a story on before you publish your post?
Um, so I didn't have any, fortunately, I didn't have any friends pass away. But I did. There are a few that are based on personal experience. As you may or may not know, I spent way too much of my time playing World of Warcraft. When it first came out, me and my wife were like hardcore, like server first raiders. So like every night we were on. I get home from work, she'd be like, "Log on, play
And
World of
at that
Warcraft."
point, are you
Oh
still on with like a community at that point? Like, were you on your headset and you're interacting with people all over the world
yeah,
at that?
yeah,
I just read
I was.
the South Park version of that, the South
Yeah,
Park episode
that
of
was
World of
me.
War.
That was me exactly. So yeah, one of the characters, Thraghun, is actually based on my best friend. I've known him since I was like 3 years old. We met trying to dig under the fence of each other's backyard. He's still my best friend. But his World of Warcraft character was Thraghun, or Thraghun, depending on where you're from in Pretoria. So I made that character based on him, and he played an orc shaman. Thragha, his sister, is just made up. Um, and Thraghun is actually also mentioned mentioned in my second novel, Democracy Inc. If you read that book, you'll find Thraghun in there. Um, Democracy Inc. is like set in the future, and it's like a VR. Everything's VR, and they look at stuff, and you turn off your VR, and everything's just kind of bland and plain. But you turn on your VR, and you can see everything. So it's like one of the characters is playing a video game, and one of the guys he's playing with is a guy named Thraghun. Um, Now, what are some other ones I can talk about? Polyphila Weslenath. Do you guys know what a multi-user dungeon is, or a mud?
Think we talked
No.
about it.
Yeah,
You and Hep definitely had some
yeah,
shared
that's right. That's
experiences
right.
with the
Oh my God.
muds.
So
Yeah.
basically, you log on. It's like an MMO, but it's all text. So you log on. There's no pictures. You just type, and you log on, and it says you are in the central square, and they type north, 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 and it just scrolls three rooms to the
Oh
north.
yeah, back in the day we used to play that on the pet computers.
Yeah. So that's actually how me and my wife met. We both played the same mud, and we got talking, and we ended up meeting in Panama City, and then we got married. And what has it been? 25 years we've been together now. It's crazy. Anyway, so some of the characters in Conclave Arcana I just named after some of my old characters from the late 90s. Uh, Polyphila Weslenath was actually named after a character named, her full name was Palafalandol Wesleyanalith, which wouldn't fit on a card, so I had to shorten it. But she was a gnome. If you're a fan of like Dragonlance, the gnomes talked really fast and they had really long names, so that's where that came from. Arendurial was one of my characters. That she was an elf that I played on a mud. Um, the main character I played was named Shay Kayan, and Reklaw Kayan was uh, the guy who played him was in game. He played my cousin, and we got to be good friends, and we met a few times in real life. Yeah, I think those are probably the big ones. And then Foundations is more like pop culture type stuff. Being it's our set for new players coming in, I really wanted that experience you get when you play World of Warcraft and you're running around and you see Oprah Winfrey or Harris Hilton. I always thought that was cool when I'd run around and I'd see them. What's the other one? Like Indiana Jones, I think, is in there. Harrison Jones is his name. And every time I'd run into those, you'd be, oh, that's super cool. Look at that. So like,
We could use more of those in Splinterlands, dude. Let's get a
yeah,
Keanu Reeves in there or a Nemo, near
we got
brain fart. You're freaking Neo. Sorry,
Neo.
a Keanu Reeves, maybe a Christopher Walken in the background running around.
So you look at Foundations, what are these
Luke
cards?
Skywalker.
Let me pull up Foundations really quick. Card set, Foundations. So there is a Scavo in there. His name's Echelon. You remember that card? He's a the little mouse guy. He's got the goggles on. He's got a long
Yeah,
trench
you get
coat.
him at the end, right? Is he one of the summoners?
He is a melee unit with opportunity. So he's based on. I was like, what if there was another
That
Matrix
guy.
character and he was in the Splinterlands? So that's who Echelon is.
Nice.
So his name is very Neo, or
Neo.
Morpheus or Echelon. So that's where I came up with that. And a lot of these cards, I'm looking at them. Vicious Quillian. Uh, Jimmy, do you know who that might be modeled after?
Vicious Quilly. I do not offhand.
So
Who is
it's
it?
Sid Vicious.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. Looking at his hair, and he's doing the hand thing
Yeah,
like that.
that
That's
that
badass,
that
actually.
makes sense. There's a whole bunch.
Okay. Yeah. No, yeah. I
Any
see.
any you see Fight Club?
Many moons ago. Oh yeah, that's the
Oh
chick
yeah.
from Fight Club. Yeah.
You can totally see it once that's out there. Marlai Singario?
Marlai Singariel. Yeah.
Singario?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
So
pull up her picture, and it's like, oh yeah, there it is.
So yeah, and then there's obvious ones like the Hungry Illumined. Paprikash is like, I mean, it's based on the unicorn emoji if you've seen it. That's what the artwork is based on. But when my daughter was little, we used to tell her a story about a magical unicorn named Paprikash that rode on rainbows. So I made the card for her, and she got a kick out of it when she saw it. She loved it.
Nice.
Dude, the cards look great. I love the foundation cards. Finished up the tutorial within the past week. Took a while for me to get through it, a little bit at a time there. And the cards look absolutely fantastic. I think for new people coming in and seeing those, it's going to be visually amazing.
How'd you like the tutorial?
Tutorial was good. I'll be brutally frank. I think there was a few things where it was a little, almost needs a little more maybe clarity. Like I remember all of a sudden being hit by double strike and being like, "What the fuck just happened?" Oh, pardon my language there. Sorry. What the heck just happened? And then you're like, "Okay, yeah, double strike. There it is." And just like maybe a little more with abilities. Overall, I thought it was fantastic. I thought the storyline is great. I like the fact that it takes a while to go through it. That's what people want. They want to play a game and you want to sit down and play this. You don't want to just breeze through it. You want to sit down and this is part of the game. You get in there and it's part of the fun and part of the experience. I think we're off to a really good start with the tutorial.
Glad you liked
In
it.
all honesty. Yeah.
I will brag and say that I single-handedly wrote the entire tutorial.
No way.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. So
Nice.
I put all that together. I have a few more that are done. There's one. The next one is how to level summoners and archons. Sorry, and then the next one is how to level units.
I'm glad
That'll
it's
always
not
be
just
something.
us, Joey. That makes me
It'll
feel
always
better.
be something. It's been too long to break that habit there.
You know why we
Yeah.
changed it, right? Do you
No.
understand?
No.
Because
Why did you change it?
you are
Got
a
some
battle,
out.
you're the battle mage, right? And you summon cards. And how are you going to summon a summoner that doesn't summon anything? Does that make
It
sense?
summons other cards.
No, you
No.
summon the other cards. You summon the Archon and it empowers you, and then you summon other cards.
So we
you're
are the
the summoner.
summoner.
You are the summoner.
But we're the battle mage.
Yeah, you're battle mage, but your superpower is summoning.
Depending on where you're from in Pretoria, we
That's
might be the summoner or the battle mage.
Touche,
Yeah.
touche.
And then the Archon kicks in.
So we're trying to make it more clear, and we're trying to get more player agency into the game. One of the things that we're really pushing to do, and Matt has bought in on is the player avatars that I think was shown way back at Splinterfest, but that should be coming fairly soon. And all assets are done. Matt has some ideas that he wants to incorporate into it, but I'm really looking forward to the day when I can log on and I'm Joey the Orc and I'm smashing faces in the arena with my Splinterlands 2025 hat on or something. Be all kinds of cool stuff.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be great. That's more interaction. The more interaction we can get, especially for people coming in, the better.
Yeah, I think and one of the things really neat is a mode where you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars to play and have fun. And I think that's
Yeah.
what Foundations is going to be. if we do it right. And then how you
Yes.
make your money is with microtransactions. I was just looking it up the other day.
Yeah.
League of Legends
Yeah.
makes $1 billion a year on microtransactions.
Yep.
$1 billion. Granted, they
Yep.
have a much larger player base, but if we do it right,
That's
that can
the
be
whole
a
point.
significant source of revenue. Whether it's you're paying pennies for some cards and foundations that um, they're probably soul bound in foundations. Maybe they're not. I know we want a lot of foundations to not be soul
Or
bound.
soulbound until you buy a spell book, and then that
Yeah,
unlocks
yeah,
stuff like that.
exactly.
You know, incentivize people to buy that spell
Yeah.
book. Holy crap, I buy the spell book, and all of a sudden, this stuff is like an NFT that I can buy, sell, trade, rent, use, whatever.
And we did have the skins for the cards.
Mustache skins.
Well, something
Mustache
about
skins.
the original skins, and in order to make them successful, I think we ended up having to have them count for airdrop points, right? When we had the airdrop points.
Was it, or is this the
Back in the day.
Chaos Legion skin set
I'm talking
you're
about like
talking?
alpha beta back in the day.
Oh, right.
Really,
Those
that's
skins
because
look different. Those look different. I
yeah,
didn't like those, I'll be honest. I liked like one or two of them.
they were older. They weren't as high a quality. The new skins are a lot higher quality. But I really think where where we may be more successful is the way to customize your player avatar. And yes, you could buy a mustache or a goatee,
Yeah, bam.
battle axe,
Bam. That's
or
what I'm talking about. That is the key to success right there. Like if you scroll down on Zoom, you go to that video area, you can choose your mustache on Zoom, for God's sake. If we have that in game where you could choose your avatar's mustache, bam. I mean, there's no stopping us at that point.
something about the mustache.
Telling
Unlock
you.
the new revenue model. There you go.
Boom. You just unlocked this mustache, the Salvador Dali or something like that. Oh my God. Then you could put that on your own avatar or one of your cards. Wow.
And then of course we're testing things with the with sound effects in game. If you've heard the pickle sound effects.
Is that you,
I
Joey?
can't.
I know
No,
you did the
No, that's Matt,
the
dude. That's Matt, right?
no, it's that so we did use AI for the voice. I did some sampling, but we ended up having Isaria do it, just to make it different. So there's some that you can't really hear. Like if you miss, sometimes it's like a whiff sound, but I can't even hear it in the background, or he goes woo. Um,
Gotcha. Because all I'm getting is the one where he dies and goes,
yeah. So
like
when he
that's I
dies,
can't,
it'll
that's the
happen.
only one.
There's gonna be one if he gets burning, which currently can't happen in the game, but may become available once the airdrops start happening. And there's also one if he shoot, what's the other one?
when
There
he
is one
dies
yeah, when he dies.
Well, he goes, oh, when he
or when he
dies. That's the only
heals
one I get.
or
Oh,
dodges.
oh, when he gets resurrected.
Resurrected.
He goes, Rise and Brine. Um, I think there's like four or
It's
five
so
different ones.
stupid, but I love it, man. It's so
Nice.
funny.
I've been inappropriately
Yeah, that's
playing
the one.
Pickle. Nice.
And so
I've been
there,
playing him at inappropriate times and losing because of it,
right.
just trying to hear sound clips. I'm like, oh, I gotta throw a pickle in there. And then you're just like, oh,
So there are ones voiced by Matt, and there's certain things you got to do to unlock it and get Matt to talk. So I'm not going to say it here, but if some of our listeners can figure it out, I think that'd be pretty cool and let us know.
I hear
Wait,
there's
is that
synergy.
for real? There's
Yeah,
Matt
Matt
voice
talks.
sound effects in there?
There's like three random things Matt, our CEO, says, but you got to figure out how to get him to trigger.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And there's
Okay.
synergy with other cards, if I'm reading the tea
Dude.
leaves correctly.
Yeah, maybe.
Won't say what, won't say where, when, who,
Well,
what, how,
I'm
where.
guessing it may have to
Don't
do
don't
with playing
too
with the
much.
Matt card. Would be
Mhm.
my would
Dude,
be
what
my
are you
guess.
doing?
I mean, that's a little on the nose, Jimmy. Come on.
It's a little obvious.
Maybe.
Uh, cool.
So you got it. So
Well,
that's
I
correct.
love the precedent of the sound effects. You know, I feel like that's one area of the game where I don't know if we've really brought the game to 2025. You know, we still have monsters throwing shields and throwing magic and throwing, you know,
Pickles.
pickles, yeah, whatever it is.
Oh, dude.
But it's
Can the
always like
pickle
the
can the
flying
pickle card
hatchet.
please throw a pickle? Can the pickle card throw pickles when it gets to
There's a
attack? That
slap
would be
sound when the
amazing.
pickle attacks. I don't know if you've heard it. it sounds like a pickle slapping somebody in the face. It's kind of hard to hear over the other sounds,
I haven't heard
but
that yet.
there's a slap sound if you listen close. And I think it was you, B Jangles. Weren't you the one who came up with the proof of concept for all that stuff? I think I saw you.
Yeah.
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
No,
so that's
totally.
where it came from. Dave was like, "Oh, I love it," and so he's like, "I want you to come up with some ideas for pickles, and I'll pick some." And so I was like, "Okay, these are the things that could trigger it, and here's like option A, B, and C." And Dave's like, "I like them all. Let's do all of them." So we just made them all and just randomized it, so it does different things randomly.
Yeah, I love the precedent. So are you guys cooking up sound effects across the board for cards moving forward retroactively? Are you guys how are you
Um,
guys proceeding with that?
so we're still talking about it. It's a balance between too much. You don't want every single card, and then they're talking over each other and it becomes ridiculous. So it's figuring out how to implement it so it doesn't become too cumbersome. And just striking the right balance. Right now, that isn't a huge priority. We have so many irons in the fire right now, trying to get conflicts out uh, with all the mage wagons and everything, the updates to the UI and UX that Tyler's working on. That guy's like a machine. He's our only UI UX guy, and he does everything. Um, so I'm super glad that he's on the team, and I'm hoping he doesn't get burnt out because he just works like a madman. I think I've been what have I been on the team? I don't remember 3 or 4 years, and this is like the last week he took a 2-day vacation. It was like the first time I remember him taking vacation forever. Um, and then yeah, what else we got in the pot? The reward cards, um, the avatars, and glamour all being worked on. So yeah, a lot of big things coming and a lot of moving parts and pieces to get it going. And
Not to
still,
mention foundation mode, basics mode,
yeah, that's a huge one.
Basic mode.
basic mode.
Basic.
I'm excited for that mode. I think that's one of the biggest. I think the impact of that is going to be bigger than a lot of people realize.
I think
Um,
so. And I mean, right now we're on the Android store. We can't get on the Apple store because of the crypto thing. So if we can somehow release Foundations mode so you can play it without using crypto, we can get on the Apple store and then it becomes like a gateway drug for people to get into the crypto side of things.
yeah,
Has,
that's the
has that
point.
already been pitched to the Apple Store? Is that a fact?
Um, that is, I don't know if it's been pitched to the Apple store, but I know it's something that we're working on trying to make happen.
Hmm.
I don't.
Yeah, that would make sense. Well, I feel like so Dave and Blaze, for those of you that missed it, Dave and Blaze hosted the influencer town hall today, and talked through a little bit of the foundation mode stuff. And my first thought was foundation mode in conjunction with the crypto gaming recovery fund. I feel like that's a layup. Like those things go hand in hand and complement one another so well. Like, maybe you just got burned on a crypto project while we're offering this, but in order to, feel like it's worth your while to pursue the part of, your percentage of the recovery funds, there's a free way, a pain-free way to come check out the game and make sure that you're ready to dip your toes in before, you go full Monty all in sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's gonna
Yeah,
be
it's
great.
brilliant. It's what we've been. It's this the type of thinking we've been needing for a long time. Just outside the box and tar the crypto recovery fund. That's like our perfect target demographic. It's like you cannot get more laser focus on who you want to come into your ecosystem. So
Yeah, I was in a lot of crypto projects. Luckily, Splinterlands was my main one when I finally settled on one. But I bought a bunch of ships in Star Atlas. I tried Axie Infinity. What are some of the ones that went under?
chocolate babies.
No, it was I
Sorry.
can't remember what it was. It was also a card game. I tried Gods Unchained. Man, those games just take so long. I don't have the patience for it anymore, especially having a 7-year-old daughter. There's one called Fluff World that actually I did really well in. But Splinterlands is where most of my stuff has gone, and I'm glad because we're one of the few that's actually still doing well. and to
Yeah.
get all those people from those failed games, and show them that there is light, would be pretty sweet.
Well, it's such a newsworthy attempt at stuff. I mean, yes, of course, aimed at the crypto folks, the Web3 guys, the gamers that are already familiar with the realm in which we participate. But even bigger than that, just crypto in general. Like where else have you heard of a crypto project that's, it's a very noble pursuit, and I think it shows and reflects the type of community that we have here. It's we're super supportive. It's sympathetic. It's empathetic. It's hey, we understand. We've all been burned on these sorts of things in the past. We have a really fucking cool thing coming here. Come check us out. And we have an inconsequential mode for you to, really buy into, i.e., foundation mode. So why not? Like why would you not spend the time to get familiar and at least poke around and try and see what's up?
Yeah, for sure.
And it goes past our project too. It's almost like saying we believe in this whole in the crypto space. We believe in the blockchain thing. It's not just our project. Like, see what we can actually do if we do this right. And we're trying to, everyone's trying to figure it out. A lot of people aren't going to do it right, and they're going to go away. But we're doing all right, and this can really work. Come check it out, Jackson. Then you got to point at him and call him Jackson.
What is that from?
I don't know. The dark recess of my mind.
It's either Jimmy or Jackson, depending on the on the context. Shoot. Yeah, and all of these things coming on the heels of a very successful start to Conclave Arcana. Like, I mean, we're 6 weeks in, 7 weeks in, more than $3 million in sales. I heard Blaze call out that we're continuing to see that number creep up, but I think more importantly, it's the depth of the wallets that are making these purchases continues to deepen. So it's not the same whales and like current participants going back for seconds and thirds. It's new people that are making these purchases from the shop. And that doesn't account for the stuff that's happened on the nod card market. I know, those guys were calling out the YGG partnership as having proved itself to be a very, worthwhile and fruitful venture. And I think we still got a month to go with the current iteration of that partnership. So, I think, as far as I understand, the first attempt at this YGG partnership was in the name of experimentation and seeing where it takes us. But given all other things that are happening, the Crypto Recovery Gaming Fund, Foundation Mode, all of this personalization stuff that you're talking about, new reward cards, conflicts coming, why would we not pursue another season with YGG now that there is that much more of a compelling reason for folks to come and to stay and to participate? So yeah, it's shaping up to be a big second half of the year. We just started Q3, and man, you guys are coming in hot.
And we're waiting for the Bitcoin run too, man. Like, if things work out as some are predicting, it might be we might finally have our timing right.
What's the prediction on Bitcoin now? I'm gonna pull
going up before the end of the year.
It's doing pretty good. 108,000.
Yeah, it's been chilling. It's been sitting for a while. I mean, obviously compared to everything else, and it compared to the last dip, what we were at, I think 15 or 12 on the last dip, and now we've slowly gone up. But we haven't had the altcoin season yet, and people are kind of chart readers and psychics with crystal balls are saying Bitcoin is kind of poised to go up. We have the wild card of global chaos going on right now, so we don't know if that could be the biggest help or the biggest hindrance. We have ETFs, we have industrial institutional money being involved. Do they say, hey, we embrace Bitcoin as the other, digital gold, like actual digital gold, and we hold it, or do we offset our losses by dumping all our Bitcoin? It's a wild card right now. Charlie from Sunny in Philadelphia. Wild card. Boom, jumping out the back of the van. But we'll see. A lot of people are optimistic that Bitcoin will be doing a pump soon. And if that happens, we're pretty much set to take advantage of that.
I hope so. I've got
Yeah,
my
me too.
Bitcoin, so I'm holding.
Nice. You got a couple hundred, right? Used to mine it back in the day.
I wish I bought one Bitcoin at $500.
Bam, dude.
Nice, man.
Bam. Best $500
I
you
know.
ever
I was
spent.
like, why did I buy more than one? I bought it at 500. I sold it
Yeah.
at 62. Then I rebought it at 40, and I still have it.
Nice.
Nice call.
Nice.
So what's your number, Joey?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be worth millions eventually.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I'm
Unless
not selling mine.
something totally bizarre happens.
Like an EMP wipes
Right.
out all computers.
There's only 21 million of them, so
And it's
At
estimated what
most.
4 to 5 million are lost,
yeah, I'm
you know,
sure.
like literally
Yeah.
lost.
Hmm.
Like that guy in Scotland who wants to dig through the dump to find his computer with all the Bitcoin on it, and
Didn't
they
he like
won't let
buy
him.
the dump or something? He's trying to buy the dump so he could just,
I would. I'd be like, God
yeah,
damn, man, they found the ET Atari cartridges. You could find a computer, you could find a laptop. I'm sure.
yeah, for sure.
I'm sure. I'm sure. But yeah. Psyched for where we're headed. Psyched for this foundation mode. Um, love it. Oh, speaking of something completely different, pickle lore. Is that your favorite lore ever? Because
Yeah,
it's
that was a lot
mine.
of fun.
Yes.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That
And
was fun.
did you randomly come up with googly eyes, or did you actually hear our podcast and were inspired?
No, I randomly came up with it. Did you mention googly eyes?
We
Googly
did.
eyes
That's
and
even better that we
mustaches, man.
yeah,
Oh my
we
God.
randomly came up with it.
Yeah, I
And
just
that's stream
so
of
at first I
consciousness.
was like, a pickle. This is like a serious game, and we're making a pickle, really? But the more I thought about it, the more I leaned into it, and I could make it work in the game. So if you read Yabanius's lore on his card, he spent all this time in our version of like D&D's Underdark, I think it's called. In our world, it's the Deep, and he spent all his time down there, and he probably went a little crazy. So he comes back, and he's just in his workshop playing with his pickle, and Rick Lonan bursts in. He's like, what are you doing, man?" Man, I'm just picturing in my head. I'm writing it down. I'm like, this is freaking gold. I love it.
I
It
love
is,
that you
man.
guys ran with it, man. It's totally
Yeah.
silly. It's 100% goofball. It's very against what we have done in the past, and I love everything about it.
Yeah.
It's so
Fun.
funny, and the sound effects are just the icing on the cake, man. You
And
guys
even
knocked it out of the park.
did you read the sales page? I went nuts on that too. If you haven't
Sales
read
page.
yeah, read the pickle sales page on
Uh-oh.
the Splinterlands website.
Where is this? So pickle.
Here you go.
Okay.
You want
I'm
to
pulling it out. Yeah, Banius is
Christopher Walken want to
Do we
make an
do it?
encore appearance? Let's do it, man.
Oh, there's a lot of shit there. What are we reading?
But
What do you
it's
want us
not
to
it's not near as lengthy as the lore, man. Yeah,
Okay,
Yabba's
so
pickle.
what do we read? The whole
From
thing?
Yabba's
Yabba's
pickle.
pickle. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty short. Like we don't have to read about the gold foil arcane fortune draws. Although it's pretty funny. Did you write this whole page?
Yeah, I wrote all that. I was just being
All right,
funny.
we might have to do it there. What do we got here?
Welcome to the pickle party, pal.
Pickle party. For 30 glorious days, you can grab Yabba's pickle for a price even the Conclave Arcana can't suppress. 150 DEC or credits per card. How many can you buy? That depends on how much SPS you have staked on 6/17/2025. See asterisk below. Every 1,000 SPS staked equals one pickle card. Simple math, complicated emotions. Want to max it out? Combine 400 copies to unlock its full potential. Nothing says battlefield dominance like a robe-wrapped pickle with absolutely no weapon. Each card has a 2% chance to be gold foil, polished to perfection, and a 0.025% chance to be a black foil, the pinnacle of magical improvisation, according to Eubanius. Tactical espionage, he says. Then it starts to dance. If you ever saw me dancing in the Fat Boy Slim video,
You were amazing.
that's the reference here. I like the dance, the pickle dance there. But you can double your odds of landing a gold foil or black foil by using an alchemy potion or midnight potion, respectively. Okay, that's that. That's phase one.
probably don't need to read
Yaba's,
the whole thing.
what's that?
We probably don't need to read the whole thing.
Yeah, well, Yaba's pickle is the actual lore right here, right? Okay. Yabanius the architect, Yaba's pickle. Yabanius the architect spent 5 years in the darkness of the deep. He held the rift shut through sheer force of will, stared down a god, and when he returned and the silence got too loud, he played with his pickle. Imbued with questionable magic, unsettling eyes, and a robe suspiciously similar to Yabanius's own, Yaba's pickle is a fully functional golem and a fully unhinged collectible. Don't let looks fool you. No attack, no problem. That just means you train it in your way. And with dodge, shield, slow, and heal, it doesn't need to dish out pain. It just needs to outlast, outmaneuver, and outlive. Because it's one thing to beat your opponent, but it's something else entirely to beat them with a pickle. I like that. That's awesome.
How many conversations did it take for Yaba to get completely on board with all of the the lore and the innuendo? And
he was very hesitant. I don't know. It was hard to read him. You know, he's very hesitant. Like, oh, okay. When I wrote it, I was like, man, I hope I don't offend him, because I kind of went all out with Matt playing with his pickle and all the jokes. I'm like, but he was a really good sport. So, and you know, when I asked him to do the, I said I was going to tell this story too. I almost forgot. So I asked him to do the voice acting for when you play the pickle next to Yabanius, which we figured out. So he's like, yeah, I'll do it. So he records it, but he recorded on his phone. So when I played it, it was like very echoey and bad quality. I gave it to Isaria, and I'm like, hey, can you fix this? Can you get rid of the echo? And you know, she talked about like wavelengths and blah blah blah, and I didn't know what she was saying, but apparently he needed to record it, like in like a sound studio to get the booth to get like a sound booth effect. He's like, maybe ask him to go in his closet. So I'm like, Matt, can you go in your closet and record this again, so to get rid of the background noise? So he's like,
just
sure.
to make you a little bit more uncomfortable with all this, Matt.
Go in the closet.
Go in the closet and close the door.
So
Play with
Matt's
your
in the
pickle in there.
closet with the door closed. I'm just imagining the lights are off. He's huddled under all the coats and clothes hanging there, and he's recording this into his phone, and you know, he gives it back, and it's a little echoey, but man, it was hilarious. So we gave it to Saria. She stripped out the background noise, tried to get rid of the echo, and bam, it's in game.
I love it, man. Yeah, everything about the pickle is just fantastic. It's such a fun new direction that we're seeing you guys embrace.
Yeah,
Good
I hope
stuff.
we do more stuff like that. Just stuff that's fun, that gets the community engaged, and we'll see what comes.
I mean, you saw the I think it was the first unofficial Splinterlands swag on Amazon is the pickle t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, shout out to, I think it was Dingus. Dingus posted a bit of a selfie wearing a bright purple pickle shirt.
Nice.
Shout out
I gotta buy
Dingus.
mine, dude. That's affordable. It's a $17 t-shirt. Bam, grab one. If you don't have one yet, grab yours today. Available in a rainbow assortment of colors. I think there's literally like 20 or 30 colors you can choose from.
Yeah, there's a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that stuff. There's a couple of guys that are running with some some Splinterlands merch ideas. My buddy Jagged down in Melbourne has set one up too. It's on I think the shop is Printify. If you Google Printify Brave Tofu. So he's teamed up with Tofu to use some of that very cool artwork that Tofu has, kind of taken his own interpretation of the Splinterlands artwork and made
Was
some
that the
t-shirts.
commercial on was that the
Yeah.
commercial on the town hall?
Yeah. So you could get like your conclave shower curtain or this like very obnoxious Splinterlands hoodie. But there is some very cool stuff. I mean, that stuff's gonna speak to somebody. The shower curtain wasn't calling my name, but coffee mug and t-shirts are pretty sweet. Cool, man. Well, we also on the Influencer Town Hall, I think it was the first reveal of incoming conflict card starting next week. Is that right? Was that
I think
confirmed
so.
on
Next
the
week already. It is soon.
It's the 15th, if I'm remembering right. I'm not positive.
That's next week, man. That's tomorrow.
15th? Tomorrow's the 9th. What are you talking about?
It's going to be tomorrow before you even blink there, Jackson.
Okay. It's already second half of the year. Yeah, so it might as well be tomorrow. It's crazy.
Here we
So
go.
Zirk's the Ember Glace, is that right?
Yeah, Zerx the Emberglaze. So that she is a the offspring of a fire and a water dragon. So she's an elemental dragon, like a hybrid. Were the stats revealed and everything? I can't remember. Anyway, I'll just say them whether they were or weren't. Just off the top of my head, she's got charge, so she's got a melee attack. She's got weapon damage, bloodlust,
Execute.
execute. Yeah. So she's
Whoa, bloodlust and execute.
And burn.
Whoa.
bloodlust,
burn.
execute, charge, melee, magic. So double
And
attack
burning.
wherever she is.
Whoa.
And she is burning,
Are
so
we-
she's on fire.
Are we talking OP here?
And if I remember right from testing, she's a little incredible.
I mean, the
Whoa.
burn is actually a pretty fair balance. It's like a bigger version of what's the dwarf? Blazebeard.
Yeah, just stick her behind Blazebeard, Merc, and your Kazi. What's his name? Kazi Conjurer. Is that
Yeah.
Falcon? Conjurer.
Yeah.
Okay. Stick those 3 burning dudes in the back. Somebody with high health in front of them. You're good to go.
Yeah, it's a fun card. And 30 days, right?
Yeah, 30 days. And then the cool thing is that we can pause it in between before the next one would just automatically start. So now we have a chance to, pause, give players a chance to, repair or buy new wagons or whatever they need to do and get ready before the next conflict begins.
Nice.
And, all the stories of conflicts are done. When we did Rebellion, I wrote them as we went because I was trying to incorporate all the legendary summoners into them. And they were in the videos and everything. Unfortunately, this time around, we had to do them beforehand because we had money to hire a contracting studio at the time. So we had a studio create all the videos, got created. All the conflicts are written. So I have to figure out how to incorporate the legendary summoners into them without actually having them in the video.
Are you guys taking the same approach? Last time it was like, I don't know, maybe a minute long introductory video, like trailer for each conflict. Is that
They're a little shorter now. I think they're 15 to 20 seconds. Just because we didn't have the resources as last time. I think the story is still pretty cool. I had to write it. If you remember from Rebellion, it was actually a story that went from A to B and it was linear. This one, since I didn't know what order they were going to be released in, they're kind of standalone stories. So each story tells the tale of one of the bloodline summoners and his war or her war band fighting against the mage or magus of the Conclave Arcana and their expedition trying to stop the Conclave Arcana from finding the secret of Praetoria.
that's Portia, right?
Portia, yeah. So, well, Portia's like the leader. And then each one of the legendary, each element has a legendary card that is a mage or magus of the Conclave Arcana, like Iridium Greybrow, Polyphila, Jicarilla, Craniax Quick, and I'm forgetting somebody, but that's almost all of them, I think.
The Windseer, Earth, or Maka.
Maka him like, yeah.
I love that card, by the way.
Yeah, she's badass. Probably Iridium Gray Brow would be my most used card though. That guy's
That card is so good, man.
like two cards in one.
Yeah, really. Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm excited for the conflicts to get started. I feel like when did the official launch of Conclave come? Was it middle of May?
It feels like it's been longer than that. Maybe not. April. I want to
Yeah.
say I want to say April, but I'm not positive at the.
Yeah, maybe. Well, that was middle of May would have been about 2 months ago. I don't know if it's been
Oh
that
my!
long, but
Oh, I forgot about I forgot about June. Yeah, May. May sounds right. Oh my God. I still
July 15th is tomorrow, pretty much, man. Back to that.
It's yesterday by the time we see what's going on. It's
I've
crazy.
got 400 $485 to max out my Conclave Arcana set. I got a little spreadsheet tracking it. I got
That's
all
what you got remaining?
Yeah, if I get them at the prices that I'm expecting, I might have to pay a little more because some of the cards aren't coming down. I was expecting rares and commons. I got all gold foil commons, but I was expecting the rares to come down just because they're on the starter sets, right? Starter packs. They're not. They're like going up. I'm like, what is happening? Where are they going down?
Yeah.
So I've been buying on the market, but they're not where they used to be. They're higher.
The
Mhm.
summoners or in general?
Like all
In
of them.
general. Yeah. In general.
So the
There's
one
just there's no liquidity. They're
Mhm.
hard to come by.
We gotta go after the starter packs. Yeah, there's a number of cards that are the Earth Taunt, and then all the summoners are right around that. You at least break even with a starter pack pulling one of those cards.
Yep.
Yep. So a whole bunch, buy 100 starter packs, 200 starter packs, get some good summoners in there, and you could come out ahead.
Still
It's
can't
probably
believe the Skinwalker is going for under $1. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's a really good card too. I play you guys.
We're doing a little Skinwalker impersonation for those who can't see.
Oh, they both did it simultaneously. It was awesome.
That's the cue, man. You hear the word, you gotta,
Oh,
Great
assume the
minds.
position.
I
Yeah,
play him all the time too. That
I play him all the time.
that silence with what's his name? Kellen Gaines. And those two are just you got to play them together if you got the mana.
Yeah,
Yeah, the bloodlines thing is huge too. I always forget, and then you see him against you like with the bloodlines, you're like, ah.
I don't have most of the bloodline summoners. I've got Razzie, I've got Fight, and that's it.
I probably
Don't
use
have
those two the most. Bella is awesome, but situational. I think more folks have picked up on the power of Craniacs,
Mhm.
which takes away from Bella being so strong. Is that hippo play, that Uland play?
Ulund.
I
Yeah,
really want to I want to play Kalia a lot more than I do. I'm hoping that we get some killer elves in the next rewards releases.
yeah, we'll see. What do you think the reward cards are going to be? What are you hoping for?
um,
New races, more of the old races? And then
I mean,
how do you
I
think it
don't,
work with the new legendary summoners? How's all that going to play together? I'm just wondering what you guys think.
I don't know. I mean, so I had the thought, like, what's the natural evolution of Bloodlines plus tactics? I would guess, originally going into to CA, I was assuming that we wouldn't see tactics, but um, what's his face? The dragon summoner obviously brought tactics to the table. So I think they are at Bob's call me Tim's disposal in terms of turning them on for the legendary summoner. So I'm thinking Bloodlines plus tactics. I did have the thought of maybe two Bloodlines, but that feels like that might be a little too much.
That's crazy. That's crazy talk, Jackson.
Yeah, it might be. So I don't know. Bloodlines plus tactics. A bloodline plus tactics would be my wager.
What
What are
would
you
you?
thinking, Joey?
I don't know. What are you hoping for? What if it was you creating these cards? What would you do?
That's a great question.
WWJD. What would Jangles do?
Yeah.
uh yeah, I actually haven't given it too much thought. I don't know. I would probably start with using, like making so when all of this stuff first came out, Jimmy, you were really on about orcs being tied to water and that not necessarily being very appropriate for, like traditional fantasy lore. So I think there's an opportunity to not necessarily correct, but offer a different path to leaning into the orcs. So maybe it's an orc summoner from fire or death, something like that. So tying the bloodlines to a different element would probably be where I would start. Um, I don't know. I haven't studied that bloodline chart that you released once upon a time, Joey, is badass, by the way. Uh, and the depth at which this stuff has all been thought through and applied is next level, man. So I think there's obviously plenty of opportunity to tap into new bloodlines. There's just quickly scrolling through, like Rodentian seems to be a pretty common one. Mundane Beast seems to be one that's popping
Yeah,
up
I've been waiting for
between
that one. That one I keep seeing jumping out. The
Mundane Beast.
mundane. Yep.
Yeah.
So
The
Monday,
Fae.
Monday's
Fae is
beasts were
another one.
actually going to be one of the bloodlines for Conclave Arcana. We changed them out for Elund because mundane beasts generally don't have magic attacks because they're mundane.
You got to
Um,
read the Narnia Chronicles there, Jimmy.
those would be awakened beasts there, Jimmy.
But they have magic.
Oh,
They use magic.
touche.
That's
So
my point.
that's a
Magic.
separate bloodline. Awakened beasts can use magic because they're awakened. They can talk.
Do we have an awakened? I thought all animals could talk in
What?
Splinterland.
No. Just like
No.
so, not Byzantine kitty. Tofu would be an awakened beast. The squirrel,
Llama.
the squirrel,
Llama.
the llama. Uh,
So there's a different bloodline called this is
mhm.
mundane beasts. Okay. I'm down. I'm down with that. I could deal.
So mundane beast is
Crustacean
just like
King.
regular
Lausstradamus, of course.
dudes.
Mhm.
Lily.
Oh, those would all be awakened, I would imagine.
The bear.
Station.
The one BJ
The
Angles.
bear,
Nice.
Archimus, the bear. Okay, that's cool. I'm there. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
I really love so one of the things that and we've talked about it a little bit before on the podcast, but as this new era of modern has gone by, the more I appreciate Squirrel. More than any other summoner, I think Squirrel is how tactics should be designed. Like it's every single match is pretty much a game time audible. I can just as easily play True Strike with great effect or go the taunt redemption route. And I feel like with Cryptic, I never play anything but the expose poison. With Lorcus, I never play anything but life leech and affliction. So I feel like making that tough choice and really making you think about, what is especially when you get like squirrel versus squirrel matchups, like, oh shit, is my opponent going to taunt my guy? Do I taunt the one in front?
right.
Do I place my taunt in the second position so he can't taunt my Mantaroth in the second? You know what I mean? So like it really calls for tactical strategy,
And on the spot.
more so
On
than
the
the others.
spot. You got
Yes,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
agree.
It's a game time audible. So
bang.
I really
Yeah.
love that dynamic of Squirrel more than any other. So that's the kind of tactical approach that I would really like to see from the new batch of summoners.
Cool. Yeah, me too. I really like. I didn't really play Skull Draft a whole lot before Conclave Arcana, but I don't know that
Mhm.
how the set turned out was really good. You don't win all the time by playing tofu anymore. Uh, the squirrel is viable very often, and like you said, either tactic is gonna be it's gonna be a game time decision. Um, Commander Slade is a boss, so playing him in water with the legendary summoner is awesome. And then I don't know, I always play Kellen Gaines with the fire death summoner. What's his name? Why am I
Lorcas.
not remember?
No, it's
Lorcus. Good Lord.
Orcus.
Brain fart.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Killing
so
Games, double strike reward, promo card, double strike voucher shop promo card. Killing Games.
that card is awesome. That was Royal Eagles,
He's
baby,
got this
too.
going.
Yeah, he is I got a running joke with Tofu that, there's a snipe meta, and that snipe meta is actually Keelan Gaines. He is the snipe meta. Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's not inaccurate.
So put
Yeah.
a void with reflect in the snipe position, and then just stack silence.
With amplify
Yeah,
to
amplify.
get the reflect kicking back in there. Man,
I
yeah,
love
you
the
got to think.
lookout play. I love
Yeah.
the conclave artificer. So you
Mhm.
put like one or two silences, and then the artificer, because he's camo, you can wedge him between the first snipe target and the second snipe target, and he will provide lookout to both without being targeted himself.
Yeah, I never thought of that. It's genius.
Yeah, that card is badass.
Yeah. But I
Yeah,
guess
great
my
card.
point is with Conclave Arcana, I think all of the legendary summoners are not kind of on equal footing, and you're not always playing one or the other. All of them, depending on what elements are available and what the tactic or what the rule sets are, the modifiers. It's all fair game. So Conclave Arcana is a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to what the reward cards bring and what the next set is going to be.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, are we looking at another equal-sized reward card set for Conclave Arcana as we have for Rebellion, or is that going to be a little change up, simultaneous release like last time, or is it going to be trickled out? Or
I have not heard anything about the release. I'm assuming it's just going to be released all as one. I don't know. Maybe Dave has a plan up his sleeve that he hasn't shared with us, so don't take my word on it. But as far as
probably
I know,
same type of situation then, same as last time,
yeah,
basically.
so that's what I'm tracking right now. Is everything it'll be released as a reward set or replace the old reward cards, and it'll be about the same size as previous sets, reward sets.
Nice.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what she said.
that's exactly. I'm glad you went there, Jimmy, because that's exactly what I wanted to bring up. Is that feels like such a great opportunity to keep things constantly fresh and evolving. So on one side, we're going to be getting introduced these new legendary summoners. Right now, most battles you're probably coming up against, barring sub 20 mana stuff, you're more often than not going to be running into legendary summoners. So we're going to have greater depth in the upper mana stuff. But I feel like the reward card should be used as a tool to balance and shift the meta on a very regular basis to keep things kind of constantly moving and in check. Like Commander Slade is a great example. And the
Yeah.
tofu meta that was running crazy for 9 months in Modern 2.0 is another great example. Like I would use reward cards to counter these things that we are seeing played 65% of the time. Like I feel like that just creates a stale, stagnant, boring game. So I look at the
Smith.
reward cards as the answer, the lever to kind of offering balance to that stuff. So I would actually, I'm a huge proponent of seeing batches of like 3, 4, or 5 cards get dropped onto the glint shop. Every, I don't know if it's every 2 months, every 3 seasons, something like that. Yeah.
I like that idea. That way you can look at what the current meta is. You can see maybe Kellen Gaines is a little too much right now. So this batch of reward cards, a few of these might counter him. And as the meta shifts and you see what's going on, I'll just release a few more, see what happens. It'd be cool
Yeah.
to get to that point. I'd like that. And I did confirm right now, we're looking at the tentative list is 43 cards. and Rebellion is 43 as well. So
I
exact
would love to see that be dynamic like that. And it makes sense from, what Jangle said, just like it keeps things fresh, keeps things exciting, keeps things from stagnating, and keeps, engagement more like, I don't know, rewarded, for engaging more.
Yeah, I guess the only thing to consider would be how does that work with the cards you get? If you're only or you're just rotating a portion of Rebellion out, and now you got like 10, you rotate out 10 Rebellion cards, you rotate in 10 Conclave Arcana reward cards. Otherwise, if you just rotate them all out and there's just 10, now you can max them very quickly because you spend your glint and it's just a pool of 10. So
Mhm.
yeah, you have to think through that, but I'm sure that there's a way to make it happen, right?
No, go ahead, man. Because yeah, I mean, most people are going to max them pretty quickly because there's accounts have just tens of millions of glint stockpiled at this point.
Yeah,
So
but
maxing quickly is going to happen.
it's a balance between the whales who have, I mean, I have 10 million glint right now, and the new players coming in who don't have that much. So, I mean, how do you balance it so the whales don't get it all at once, yet the people who are in the lower leagues and don't have a whole lot of glint still feel like they're making progress.
Well, okay, so
Some glint.
whales, I think are
Glint incentive purchases. Sorry, go ahead. Like huge things to buy. Here's something
well.
for 10
That's
million.
exactly what I was going to say. Is if the whales are more often than not going to be targeting gold foil cards. I would think it's very difficult to go in and max. I would suspect because of the exponential price tag that's associated with gold foils, it would actually take just as long to max gold foils as it would for, the average regular foil guy to max the regular foil cards. Something else that I would love to see is like a rotating spot of, so say we get, let's call it 4 cards released. So all of Rebellion reward cards exit the glint shop, and then we see 1 card of each rarity, or maybe it's 2 commons, 2 rares, an epic, a legendary. So we got, what is that, 6 cards? You see 6 cards, and maybe one of them on any given day or any given season is available to purchase directly. Like I can choose that I want this particular card
Mhm.
specifically, and you pay a much greater rate.
Yeah, and
And
you can also
maybe
lower
there's
the
something
limit.
like, yeah, also lower the limit. And maybe there's something like, so if it's 5 or 6 cards released at a time, and you're looking at like a 2-month shelf life, all of a sudden, instead of a year and a half of everybody going after the same batch of 43 cards, you're getting, 5 cards per 2-month period, where things are, kind of constantly getting shaken up, and it rewards the folks. For right now, there isn't really a desire to unlock at the 20x cost. And then as soon as Rebellion exits, yes, it drops down to 10x, but those cards have a severely hamstrung shelf life in modern, right? So the desirability on the other side is also hampered because of that shortened shelf life, even though the price doesn't necessarily, or the value, quote unquote, doesn't necessarily reflect that. Whereas if you're shifting cards in and out of print for Conclave Arcana, all of a sudden that first batch, it there is built-in incentive to buy extra to potentially unlock, assuming we're getting new players, and we could turn around and keep them available in the
Mhm.
third-party markets for those new guys coming in.
Yeah, and you could leapfrog also. Here's a batch of, 5 or 6 or whatever, and a month later, that first batch is still in the mix, and then here's a second batch still in the mix. And then as the third batch comes in, maybe that first one fades out, like you hard cap it, and they will slowly just hit their cap and phase out. That's how it used to be. I think there was like a number, and once it hit that print rate, it would just be gone. And they all kind of blinked out at different points as a result. When you were talking like the beta and the untamed and stuff. I used to follow the chart and you'd be like, oh man, Phineas Rage is about to go out of print. We better stock up on them or buy some more if you want some extras.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd
But
be
if we can get it rotating. No, go ahead. Sorry.
um Yeah, I mean, at the same time, it would also keep it fresh. If you just have the
Yeah,
same cards in there for a whole year, nothing's changing.
yeah,
Even though they may be available for the same amount of times if you rotated them, it feels different. It feels new. It feels like I'm getting something different. And you mentioned having like getting a specific card and having to pay a little more for it. What I've seen most games do is you have like one card that you pay a little less for. So every once in a while, a card will pop up, and maybe it costs half as much as all the other cards for a day. That gets players to jump in. Oh, I got to get this card now, and they spend their glint on it to get it. Um, that might be a cool idea as well.
yeah. Well, it
Yeah,
just
I
seems
love
like
that.
such low-hanging fruit to explore and experiment with, and really get a lot more engagement at really low, cost to do it. We have to think a little bit, we have to tweak a little bit, and spend a little mental effort on how to work versus, just dumping 50 cards at once on us.
Part
But
of the
I think
problem
it would be
is,
so worth it.
I mean, I really like the idea, and I'm sure that the team would like it too. And I'll bring this up the next meeting that we have, which I think is Thursday. We usually have a UI UX creative, I mean, a creative slash support meeting with Dave in there, and I'll bring it up. But the biggest issue is just the bandwidth that we have with so many projects that we're trying to do. Having one UX guy who has to do all this stuff. We got a lot of updates to land too coming with Cryptomancer working on trying to push us to 2.0, and all that is UI UX, and it's all Tyler. So I imagine trying to get something like this it's going to take an update to the UI UX, and with so much stuff on his plate, I don't know what would have to fall off, how it would be prioritized. But maybe we can get it on the list, and even if it doesn't happen this time, it can happen next time. Because I think it's a great idea to have reward cards rotating like that. But we'll see if we can make it happen.
I mean,
Yeah.
another way to go about it is, and this is something that in my mind is an absolute no-brainer and a much easier implementation is when you can't always, we have a little bit of a ceiling in terms of how many cards can we introduce. Obviously we don't want to flood, you know, 3,000 cards into the game to keep things fresh constantly. The better and easier way to do that is rule sets. Like I really want to get to a place where we see a cycle of rule sets coming into the game on a, maybe it's like a monthly, maybe it goes with the conflict, like a Song of Ice and Fire. Maybe there's a new rule set that comes in just for this period of conflict time that is really driving the
Ooh,
meta in a certain direction. I mean,
ooh,
that's in my mind, that's how you're bridging the gap between lore and gameplay is, leaning into the story to dictate what happens in the gameplay. So I mean, rule sets feel like such an easy lever to tweak to drive the meta in a certain direction, or if we're seeing Slade is too overpowered and too untouchable, maybe there's a new rule set that comes in that works to
sticky
counter that.
fingers,
Yeah,
sticky
something.
fingers, dodge doesn't work. Boom, sticky feet, tar feet or something. You can't dodge.
Yeah,
Something
I think
crazy.
one of the things that I was working on, I can't remember the last time I talked about the engagement system with you guys, but the replacement for the daily focus rewards, one of the ideas I had was to have instead of just generic seasons each season, oh, it's the next season, so what? Would be to have different seasons themed around the different splinters in Pretoria. And then for people who've been playing a long time or for new time listeners, a splinter is different from an element. A splinter is the kingdoms and the empires. So like the kingdom of Crimea is a splinter, and you might have a season that is based on the kingdom of Crimea, hosted in the kingdom of Crimea, and then based on the lore of the kingdom of Crimea, those are the rule sets or modifiers that can take place in that season. So every time the season changes, the rule sets that you see might be different. We might introduce different ones or phase them out. So it you know what I'm saying? So it's like different every season. Um,
Yes,
yes,
please.
that would be
yes.
cool.
Yes, yes.
I like that a lot.
I mean that
If
that
I had
that's
horn,
a
I would
much
blow
easier
it
way to
right
keep
now.
things fresh. Oh, go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I just said if I had an air horn, you'd be hearing it right now. Yes.
Winner.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes. More of that, Jackson. Point.
Yes, and I really
Shit.
think we need at some point. So Foundations is going to get the daily focus thing, where you do so much every day and you get some stuff. But we need to get that back into wild and modern, where people can log on and they have things that they need to do every day to get them to log on. Those, like mandatory compulsion loops that you see in most games.
Yep.
Whether it's
Mhm.
winning X number of battles or playing certain bloodlines or doing whatever. And what I really like to see is these seasons based on splinters, and then it would be cool to get I don't remember what we talked about last time I was on, but like we've been working on like a reputation system where you build up your reputation with different splinters. You unlock different levels, which unlock cosmetic rewards. So you might get the silver shield and you can equip your character with it. And maybe even stuff like that might give you a small glint bonus in game. So that compulsion loop is tied to reward, which is also tied to an in-game bonus for winning battles. And it becomes like a self-licking ice cream cone of wanting to play more.
Yes, please.
Self-licking ice cream cone.
The SLIC, the old SLIC, baby. Yeah.
We need
Pickle
achievements
ice
in the
cream.
game too, right?
Yeah.
I spent so much time fishing in World of Warcraft or killing stupid mobs or
How
running
much time
around
do
and
you spend playing with your pickle? Now everyone could see on a freaking leaderboard. Bam.
completed 100 battles, won 100 battles with the pickle.
Mm-hmm.
Achievement earned playing with my pickle.
I would
Yep,
love to see
bam.
like seasonal titles, like around this sort of stuff. Like most successful dodges from the pickle. Like, most the BreakingBenjamin, the most elusive pickle in Splinterlands or something. Like just goofy titles, like leaning into like
Slippery
obscure
pickle.
stats. Yeah, the slippery pickle. Yes, dude.
Bam. Most dodges. Yeah,
So
that'd be great.
my idea was prefix titles based on how many achievement points you had. So if you had the most achievement points in the game, you might get a legendary prefix title that gives you a 5% glint boost. 2 through 10 get an epic, 11 through 50 get a rare, 51 to 100 get a common, and they all give a glint boost. So everybody's fighting, they're trying to get the achievements. Oh, I got to lose 100 battles with fire, or I got to win 100 battles with 3 orcs, or whatever it is. People are on, and it's the meta that keeps you engaged and playing to earn these rewards, and building up those microtransactions as you unlock things and you can get more cool things.
Yes, please. So okay, so the
More,
way
please.
from what I'm hearing, are you chained in the basement to a desk the way Jeff opens cards has his card openers chained in the back, and they don't let you get all these great ideas out into the world? Like, what's going on here? You're just pumping out these amazing ideas one after another, and it's just like yes. Everything I hear, I'm just like, I want this.
Uh,
Are you hiding? Like, what's going on? Or they got you
well,
chained in the basement
I, I,
writing?
I presented all this stuff to the leadership and the team, and everyone loved it. It's just a matter of prioritization of what do we need to do first, and
Hmm.
you know, it's on
I
Yeah,
us.
mean,
I hear you.
I understand that, the main driving force behind all of the short to medium term decisions should be getting new players, right? But all of the stuff that we're talking about is the other
Does
side of
that?
that is retention, right? Like
Yeah.
this is how you keep folks engaged. This is how you
This is how
keep
you
things
keep it.
from
Yeah.
getting stale. Yeah.
Engagement is one of the most important things. Like when you're talking about goal number one, which we know is getting new players, and like you said, keeping them. Engagement is really what keeps them in there.
Yeah. It's knowing and understanding what behavioral game design is. It's what makes games like World of Warcraft or Clash of Clans and all those stupid gotcha games that people spend thousands of dollars on. Um, that keeps them coming back. Compulsion loops, variable rewards, loss aversion, endless goals, daily and weekly quests, progression systems, social pressure and competition, sunk cost. all that
Sounds like
stuff.
you're reading a list that you've put a lot of thought into,
Oh, I
Joey.
had that memorized. Those are off the top of my head. I'm looking
Yeah,
for
I
it.
mean the psychological stuff is massive, massive. There's a reason why these big, AAA games hire psychologists, marketing gurus to come in and help design UX. Yeah.
And the microtransactions, man, one of the most powerful things in the world financially.
I think
Yep.
that's we really got to get on it with that. And
Yeah,
hopefully
that's
Foundation
huge.
and player avatars will just be the start of that. And
Dude, I will pay 1 DEC for a mustache, or 10 DEC for a mustache, and then 1 DEC for a variation of color of that mustache. Absolutely. That's a bunch of microtransactions that are just waiting to happen right there.
it just adds up.
It adds up. It totally does. Oh my God,
Uh,
like unibrows, like a little thing that lets you fill in eyebrow characters so they get unibrows. They're just something funny. I'm thinking of like Lisa's arch nemesis on The Simpsons, that little baby with the unibrow. Just let people have little funny little things like that.
Be perfect. My
So
little
the avatar stuff, Joey, it's you brought it up a couple of times. Is this like the precursor to, you and I match up from time to time in modern, and there's always a series of gifts that fly one way or another in the Discord. Is this the precursor to introducing something like that sort of social element in the game? So, am I going to be able to stick if I match up with you and I see you brought the cryptic Slade team, can I stick a big old Praetorian shit emoji on your Slade for you to see? Hey
uh,
man, you brought a
I don't know
turd
about
to
the
the
shit
party.
emoji. Uh,
Well,
but we are definitely exploring stuff like that. It's on the table. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, the player avatars and all the customizable microtransaction type stuff is all a part of that. And I know Matt also has a lot of big ideas that he's been discussing with Nate. I don't feel comfortable sharing those here, but know that Matt is very passionate about the player avatar system, and he's got a lot of really cool ideas of how to make it work and expand on it. So just stay tuned.
Oh, I just noticed that Jangles hit pause on the recording, so you could totally share that information.
Oh, okay. So wait.
almost,
Ah, it's
almost.
close. Almost got him there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I think one of the things that we see incredibly difficult with Web3 and especially Splinterlands, like we've gotten so comfortable with a lot of core functionality get supported by third parties. The market is a great example. Land management is another great example. I never, ever, ever go to splinterlands.com to do any of that stuff. Unless the only exception is, I see there's maybe a very limited number of cards that are listed on the market. I want to see, do I know any of these people I can reach out directly and maybe, broker an under the table deal sort of thing. But otherwise, I do everything on Peak Monsters or one of the other markets. Keeping people on splinterlands.com as much as possible for as many behaviors as possible is so critical to, like, keeping that overall engagement up. So, if you could imagine we face off in ranked, I don't have to then open Discord and say, yo, Joey, like I'm about to whip your ass, game on, sort of thing. I could do all of that stuff in game. That's just more time that I'm spending on splinterlands.com.
Yeah. I mean, just my personal opinion, we're a little too wed to Discord. I'd love to see us move more away from it.
Mhm.
Um, you can see on the homepage, we actually had designed it where um, we got the new homepage. I don't know if you both have seen that. I should have said that first. But on the new homepage, there's actually a section that we're trying to get inserted in there. I think it goes right before In Our World of Magic and before the next chapter in the Growing World, where, like most games, you see like I don't know what you call it, one of those carousels that shows different things. So like
Yeah.
the town hall, let's put it on the website and let people know what's happening. We're doing an influencer town hall today. Let's put that on the website and let people know it's happening. Not everybody is on
Yes.
Discord.
Yes.
So that all that stuff should be on the website. Should get a pop-up
Uh-huh.
Town hall starting now, right on the website.
A
Yeah, I
hundred
was talking
percent.
about that recently, man. That exact thing. Like I still like I can't find information. You have to wade through Peak D posts and you have to know where they're posted and you have to search correctly. I'll look for stuff and be like, I can't find this post. I don't know if this guy posted it or if it was a Splinterlands official or what the hell. Like I just want to find out like what plots give me stone. Like I just want to
Right.
find this. And it's like you
Oh, that's
gotta
the problem. I was like, what is the
like have
exchange
that
rate?
on site. Keep that on site. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually do use the website for land. I've got this giant
I do
spreadsheet
too.
built.
I
I've
do
got a,
too.
I've got a
Is that
giant
is
spreadsheet
that is that
built.
out of necessity or is that preference?
So I couldn't find anywhere that did what I wanted it to do. So I
Yeah.
plugged my cards in. These are the bonuses. This is what the PP production points are for each. When I put a totem on here, I put a Rooney on here, I put a title on here. How much grain am I producing? How much grain am I consuming? What is the DEC that I'm making per hour and per day? So where should I put my best cards? So I built this huge spreadsheet and it told me you own two keeps, but your best plots are your stone plots that aren't in your keep tracked. So my best cards are on these stupid stone plots. But that's how I figured it out. I figured out what are my most profitable plots, and so where should I put my best cards, and I can order it, and I can figure out how much DAC I make. And right now I'm making it's like 7,000 DEC a day, which is not too shabby.
That's solid.
Do you use
Nice.
Baron's toolbox at all?
Does that tell you like what your profit is?
Not quite what your profit is, but it's pretty easy to figure out what your best, like how to optimize. If it shows you what your PP is and with bonuses, and it's like I'll dig through and be like, oh crap, I've got a rare stone plot over here in an area that I need more stone of, and it's way underutilized. Let me start loading that one up. Like it's visually very easy to see what you need to do, who, what, where, when, and how.
Yeah.
It's also
And
super
it's
easy to navigate.
it's
That,
super
that's
easy to
that's that's my biggest issue with the Splinterlands land management is
Oh, it's
there is
brutal.
so much clicking to go back and forth and navigate to this tract or that region
Oh, and
or
then you forget. You're like, oh, I
uh,
gotta buy wheat. Let me go buy some grain. And then you're
yeah,
like,
what was the
wait,
number I
how
needed
much
to
did I
buy
need?
again? Oh
Which
shit.
region did I putting it in now? I forgot because I've got four that
Yeah.
I'm juggling. And then
Yeah.
you got to go back and click and you got to write shit down. Dude, I just did land the other day and it took almost an hour
Really?
just to really
How many plots do you have?
harvest. It's 250 plots. It's two separate tracks in two different regions that are full. Full track in 26, full track in 27, half a track in 119, and then like three or four other random plots that I traded over time and have going. So those random plots I just harvest. Like I don't even deal with. I'm just like boom, harvest, harvest, done. And then the rest is I'm mining SPS. That's what I'm doing in a lot of this stuff, and and I got some aura going. So in order to do that, you need every freaking, resource. So I have one tract where everything is self-sustaining. I go in there and accept grain. But in order to harvest SPS, I could just swap resources to get enough of every damn resource to harvest my SPS in there, right? And then I'll have an abundance of stone and a little bit of wood. So I go to the next tract and I'm like, okay, and it's just so much time is spent what Jangles was just saying, going back and forth and swapping this resource for this resource to this region, just to literally harvest like 3 SPS plots, like or tracks that have SPS. Harvest your SPS. I do that 3 times, and it takes almost an hour, and then the aura at the end. And I've just gotten to a point where I could just do that with those 250 plots,
Yeah.
without pulling in extra.
I recently
But
so when I originally did the math, I think midnight potions were like point is it 0.025, and they're like down
yeah,
now to 0.020 last time I looked. That was yesterday, it might be lower. But that bumped my aura from like being my best performing plots all the way down to being my worst performing plots. So I just redid everything. I took all my freaking cards off land and now I'm gonna reorder them. And that's the hardest thing is that 3-day cooldown as soon as you take a card off.
Oh,
Now
it's
I got
freaking brutal, man.
I set a timer on my Echo to remind me in
So
3 days
brutal.
to put my
I
cards
do
back
that.
on.
Yeah.
Yo,
I put them on my
that's Jimmy's
spreadsheet.
button, Joey. You just nailed
Oh,
it.
I hate that
Why do I have
cooldown.
to wait? Because I like to put
Right.
them in order. I'm very OCD about it. I like my
Right.
best
And then if they're not in order, it sucks. You're
right.
pissed. You're like, God damn it. I want to just move them.
So I buy a new. This is what I was doing,
Oh.
Jimmy. I'd buy a new card. I'm like, okay, this fits up here on the 5th best plot, and I take this card out. I wait 3 days. I put it into the next slot, and every 3 days I would just bump my cards down the line so they'd stay in
Yes.
the right order.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
And I'm
And
like,
now I'm optimizing by rarity. You know, I have my legendaries are optimized, my epics are optimized with the best because I'm going like I don't care what stone is now or wood is now. I'm looking long term. You know, if I have an epic wood, I'm going to put my best cards, you know, with a Rooney, with a freaking title, optimizing by rarity because that 40% boost is insane, you know, and then you go down, then you of course rare, you're going to want to have better cards on your rare plots and your common plots because long term that extra 10% boost really pays off. And it's like that. It's just shuffling down and you're like remove it from here. You know, here's some maxed rare gold foils coming on my rare plots, and these 1500 PP beta cards are getting bumped down. And it's just the time and the waiting. It's not fun. I'm sorry. People have told me, well, that's part of the fun. It's not. I'm letting you know right now. That's not part
no,
of the
I
fun.
agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking I need to pull my cards off land and try this again because I didn't do it like that. I put my grain epic is my most profitable right now, so it's number one. My legendary wood is number two, and then I have all these common stones that are next because they're the next most profitable. Then the epic wood, and I went down the line, but what was most profitable, the least profitable based on today's prices. Now I need to rethink
I
it.
just went by rarity long term. I'm
Yeah.
like I'm going on the faith that it'll balance out and the fact that I have you know you if that epic wood is generating that 40% more,
Mhm.
that's just better for swapping, you know, because I do need to swap because I am mining SPS and aura. So swapping is absolutely essential for that to work, for that to happen.
Yeah,
So I'd
on
rather
my
get the epic wood out of the epic plot, you know.
so on my main tract, I have I don't have the exact numbers. Without my keep, I have, yeah, 97 wood producing plots, 3 grain producing plots, 0 stone, and 0 iron.
Whoa, 97 wood plots on one. That's because all you get all like the bog and the swamp and all that stuff
Like,
is
I was so
where is this? Where is this?
Mandar Camden in the Central Fire, right by, well, you probably don't know what the map looks like. Me
That's
being
a
a giant
lot of
nerd,
wood.
I'm right by Mock City if you look at the map of Pretoria.
Nice. We're not too far over in 26, 27. That's where the Broken Lands just reach in from the uh from the west. We're pretty damn close to Mount Mox also. But yeah, long-term optimization prioritized by rarity, you know, bam. Epic plots
Well,
are loaded.
I mean, I think you got the right approach though, Jimmy, and we've heard guys like Azurcon and Infidel talk about a very similar approach to land, is expecting that things are going to balance
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
Mhm.
and we're seeing that with as much as it. I understand the frustration that's tied to like the conflict stuff, but also giving that value back to the lands holders is a pretty cool concept. I don't know if it's a 1-to-1, but in terms of is it worth the feeling of kind of being taxed, you know what I mean, per repair, but uh the fact that it is going back into land and it's supporting the folks that are producing on land, I think is a pretty cool concept. And we're seeing the auction marks and what's the other one, the tickets, the fortune tickets,
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
and more. We've had more stuff get applied to land resources in the last 4 months than we have in the last 2.5 years, which is very cool. And I think it's just the beginning. We've definitely turned the page in terms of, where are we trying to drive value and where are we delivering and what is the overall question that we're trying to answer with these decisions. So I think, you do have the right approach with assuming that things are going to balance out. I'm fully expecting this sort of experimentation and move into leveraging land resources to continue. Yeah. And I don't I'm not part of the land baron stuff, but I do know Cryptomancer offers like a weekly land update on what he's working on. Is there
Mhm.
something there?
I think he just posts like a message in Barron's what once a week or so.
Yeah, he's like, here's what I did,
Yeah, just give us an update what he's
basically.
done, and I think sometimes he
Yeah.
says what he's gonna be working on next. And I mean, it's a good update to know what's going on. He does a really good job of keeping the community abreast in there.
Yeah.
Hmm. Let's see. I was going to pull
Uh,
one up there and see if there's anything interesting.
he has been crushing land. For as
Oh
opposed as
yeah.
I was to Cryptomancer being relegated to nothing but land when, that DAO proposal first came out, for the DAO inheriting his salary and given all the low hanging fruit and all the stuff that we've talked about that we would like to see brought in game at that point in time, it was geez, almost about a year ago now. Uh, that guy has really turned land around, and I think, I was certainly selling land short at that point in time, and I'm glad that he's the guy. Like he's definitely the guy to be on land, and he's delivering, which is awesome.
Yeah, I agree, and it's cool to see these
Mhm.
things come out in the short term, and then when we get long term and we're actually able to start producing items on land. Now it becomes a question of, am I making midnight potions? Am I making tickets? Am I crafting cards? Am I
You
mining
got to
this?
choose. Yeah,
Yeah,
That's what I want. I
that's
want those
cool.
tough choices to be coming out there.
cool. And
I
and with
don't
so many
want to be
different
forced
options.
to do my wagon. Not
Yeah,
forced to do a wagon. Choices of what I want to do. That's
yeah.
the goal. It's a process.
And it drives value too, because not everybody's making cards, or not everybody is making wagon kits, or
Exactly.
everybody's making black. So it's going to become more valuable because it's not as much of it to go around. And hopefully you'll get more people buying land, producing when they see that the value is going up, and hopefully they don't.
Yeah, like even someone with one plot who says, you know what, it's worth it just to crank out some wood
Yeah, just make some
every
wood.
5 days and
Hey, here's some
sell it
wood,
and buy a few
guys.
cards. Yeah.
So it has a lot of potential, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. My wife just came in and left me a note. It says the alarm on your car went off at about 11:30. I went outside fairly quickly. I didn't see anyone. Took out garbage. Nobody came back, and I've checked 3 times since. Nada. Maybe an animal? Do you know what sets it off? Both car and truck are locked. Going to bed soon. What
I
should
saw an acorn set off a car alarm the other day. Like
really?
literally, like I was walking and then an acorn dropped on this person's car. It was this loud bam. I watched it bounce and the freaking alarm just started
Okay.
going off.
We've got an empty lot next to us, so maybe like a twig broke off and fell in my car. Hopefully it didn't done it, but I've never heard the alarm go off. I
Could
like
be a bunch of Oompa Loompas trying gnomes trying to steal your shit there, Jackson.
we have a lot of raccoons. Maybe it was a raccoon trying to break into my
Yeah, they
car.
could. Yep. Or a real person trying to steal your catalytic converter.
Just
That's a
those
thing
those
these days
mundane
too.
beasts, man.
That could be, yeah, Monday beefs.
Mundane beast.
Just be thankful they weren't awakened, Joey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I took we live in kind of a underdeveloped area, so there's a lot of wildlife. And one night I took my garbage out, and we have a d door on the side of the garage, and I open it up, and there's a freaking armadillo just sitting on the stoop staring up at me. I'm looking down at this thing, like, please don't charge into my garage. He just turns around and trots off. It's crazy. And
Is
there's a
that
pack
common in
of,
Florida?
I don't know. There's a pack of raccoons that run around. And I went over, my mom lives right behind me, and I went over to her house once, and I saw some motion at the neighbors. So I go over there and they got their garage open. They have their garage open, and there's these 6 raccoons just in their garage, like climbing on stuff and trying to get in the garbage. Like, what is happening? So I go to the
Breaking
doorbell.
into the car.
I'm ringing the doorbell, trying to get him to come out, and they don't answer. So I go to the garage. So I'm trying to scare these raccoons out of their garage. I'm like, hey, get out of the garage! And they're like coming at me. I'm like, what are you doing? And so I'm backing up, and they're like coming towards me. And finally, the lady comes out of her house, and she's like, what's going on? I'm like, you got raccoons invading your house, invading your garage. And she's like, it's okay. They're friendly. We feed them.
Oh,
Like,
shit. They're looking for food.
like, oh,
They're
that's why they're
hungry.
coming at me. They think I'm going to give them food. I thought they were going to attack me. It was crazy. So, all right,
And then
you do you.
that beats, it's better than 6 skunks, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
It's true.
Oh, that happened to me last night. I walked out to get something out of my car that I forgot in there, and it's literally walk out of my door, turn left down the sidewalk. There's about 10 feet. There's my car. Go around to the driver's side, lock it, go about to walk back, and the skunk comes out of the bushes, walks right up to my door. So I'm literally like 6 to 8 feet away at this point. Just sniffs my door, turns towards me, and just starts walking down the sidewalk, just chilling. I'm like, okay, just back away slowly.
Oh my
Went
God.
around my car, kept backing up around the street, and then I lost sight of it. So I'm like, let me just wait a little bit. Let me go. I'm looking under the cars. I didn't see it. Went 6 cars down, walked slowly up the sidewalk back to the street.
Where you?
Yeah.
Where?
I'm in California in the Bay Area, about 45 minutes to an hour north of San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I am where the Grateful Dead and Lucasfilm are from, where all
Okay.
the Jedi stuff was done in Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, cool.
You being about the same age, I'm sure you grew up on the Star Wars. It was the greatest thing ever when a new Star Wars trilogy came out in
Yeah.
the theater.
Yep.
I just saw my YouTube algorithm sent me a video of a company that has gotten the rights to make a Tauntaun sleeping bag. And
Nice.
the inside of
Slightly
the
open.
inside of the sleeping bag is like the intestines of the Tauntaun.
Oh my
The zipper is a lightsaber, so it's like you're actually like, slicing open the Tauntaun. The pillow is the head of the Tauntaun. It's got like arms and
that's-
legs and everything. It's actually pretty badass. I 100% would have wanted that when I was a wee
Oh, when
little
you're a
kid.
kid, it's the best thing
Yeah,
ever.
it's awesome.
Yeah, I almost want one now.
Yeah.
Oh, that scene when you were a kid, that was like one of the scenes in Empire Strikes Back, even though it was a fraction of a second. When when Han Solo cut open the Tauntaun with that lightsaber and the intestines just popped out, you're like, whoa! Like that was one of those monumental scenes in that movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Cool stuff. Well,
I
Joey,
thought they
let's
smelled bad on the ends.
we're coming down on the 2 hour mark here. I want to be mindful of you being on the East Coast. What's so looking ahead, man, you got a bunch of stuff cooking. We walked through kind of the laundry list off air. We kind of ticked a couple of the boxes throughout the episode. Is there something that kind of sticks out in your mind as being most meaningful to you, to the team, to the community that you're working on that you're super excited about?
Well, from a lore perspective, I'm looking forward to the reward cards. And just kind of figuring out where that takes us, from Conclave Arcana to the next step. I'm looking forward to working with the players on the legendary summoner cards. Always have a lot of fun doing that. I haven't reached out to them yet, just because I don't know what it's going to look like. Are they going to be certain bloodline summoners? Am I going to have to tell the last dude picked that, sorry, the only thing left is a mermaid? So we'll see. I'm sure we'll come up with something that allows them to have some flexibility.
Joey, I hope you give Cryptomancer a mermaid, bro.
Yeah.
It would be hilarious.
Tofu would be
Yeah,
the merc.
that reminds me, man. I had an idea a long time ago. So you were asking like, what do you want from reward cards?
Yeah.
Tying in with the player avatar. So say I choose my bloodline. If my bloodline dictates what, choose your own adventure style. My bloodline dictates what reward cards are made available to me. So maybe like there's a handful of 43 cards. Maybe there's, I don't know, 10 bloodlines, and each of these bloodlines that you can choose from on your player avatar has, I don't know, alliances with, a certain like 25% of the reward cards. And then I'm able to unlock those cards first as like a priority sort of thing. That would be a very cool twist on
That'd be cool.
things.
Like having your avatar mean something in game.
Yeah.
Meaning some
And
choice.
it would create differentiation.
Yeah.
We've always talked about like what does a world, we're seeing some of that with Conclave, but what does a world look like where not everybody has everything? And it's not like if I'm facing either of you guys in ranked, I don't have the safe assumption that you guys have 100% the same deck that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that could be a cool. I think it's probably way too late for something like that to come in for this next reward set, but
I mean, next time.
for the future.
The thing that I'm probably most excited about for the community and for the game now is probably Foundations mode. I think it has a lot of potential. And
Say it right.
I hope we
Say it right.
What?
Say it right.
Oh,
I'm always going to call it foundation mode. Basic mode is
Yeah, same too.
basic mode.
That just sounds so fun and exciting.
Yeah.
Basic mode. Oh, it's like Django's favorite rule set. Back to basics.
that's the first one that's on the chopping block, Jimmy.
No way. I'm gonna fight for that one forever in the rotate. Even if it's a 0.01% chance of coming up, it's got to be in there.
On my wish
Yeah.
list, one of the top things would be an in-game chat, so I don't have to log into Discord all the time. That'd be cool to be able to have like right on your. We talked about this before we started, but we moved the battle log into its own season activity, and I know a lot of people are getting used to that. They don't like it, but all the things that we can add down there, the thing that I would like to see would be an in-game chat. Save a global chat, a guild chat, maybe direct messages, maybe have like a group chat. You can invite whatever you do, however it works. I think it'd be cool to have something like that. Again, I always go back to World of Warcraft. You'd have your chat with different tabs at the top, and you could click on different tabs, so you could see
like global guilds, buddies. Yeah.
So you could flip between them without having to constantly tab out to Discord, which would be really helpful especially for people that play the game on mobile, to have access to that without having to swipe over to Discord all the time.
I wonder
That's
how many new
coming soon.
players we've got that don't ever go into Discord.
I don't know.
I think about my own experience. I started in February, I guess 3 years ago now. And it was probably a good 6 weeks before I ever found my way into Discord. And I can easily imagine there's folks that never ever download and install Discord.
Yeah, and if you don't use Discord, you don't know what the hell's going on, because we almost all of our
Everything's on
communications on Discord.
Yeah.
And nobody uses. Well, I know not nobody. I mean, Peak D is great, but the normal gamer is not on Peak D.
Yeah.
Right. And even if we had links to it, like if we said, here's our new announcement, here's an in-game announcement, and you just click it and it links to the Peak D post to keep it simple, but at least have the access in-game to that. And I mean, obviously this in-game chat is totally coming right around the corner because they cleared all the space for it in the UI on the battle page.
Yeah,
like next week, next update. Is that what's happening? Next update?
You've interrupted me. I'm done. We'll see. TBD.
Oh shoot.
Oh,
yeah,
my God.
it's not a don't make the mistake of restarting your computer. The battle page is meant to look like that. It's underdeveloped. There's mind the raccoons and the armadillos. They're hiding in there.
I like it. It's cleaner.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, quick question.
I have so much
before
space.
The space. Why does it look better on my computer than yours? I still want to know that. That's kind of weird.
Probably widescreen monitor. Big monitor.
Do you have a
That's
watch?
what
On my
said.
laptop, it looks okay.
No, I have a Mac. I have a little 13-inch Mac.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it fits in there. So maybe it's good on mobile and stuff. But
I have
yeah,
a little screen. It looks fine. This is my screen, right? I don't know if you can see my. That's how
Whoa.
my screen is.
You doing the Skinwalker pose, bro? The double Skinwalker? That's gotta be the meme. Yeah, it's gotta be the open hand, like the
I like how
awkward positioned hand.
Oh my
with the laptop, you could just tilt the screen and
uh,
bam. Oh, that's going to be the Vona instead of Vonak. That's the symbol. Bam.
yeah.
Like on Twitter, if you're doing
That's how
this.
you're gonna know
Yes.
when Splinterlands made it, when you see everybody's like profile photo is that.
Is that.
Oh shit. That
Yeah.
was too funny.
But not Splinterland's question. So if I'm remembering episodes and episodes ago, you're the big Stephen King fan, right? I'm seeing the books behind you.
Yes, I have these are all first edition Stephen King. Some of them are signed.
Nice. And periodically you read the entire thing from start to finish, right?
Yes, I'm on Black House right now.
Black House. Tell me about it. I was a huge Stephen King fan growing up. In sixth grade, I picked up Pet Cemetery, which had just come out, and I read everything he had written before and everything new as it was coming out, it as it came out, all that stuff. And then at some point, I stopped around maybe Gerald's Game-ish and just kind of didn't read him for many years. And now I'm diving back in. I just read all of the Mr. Mercedes, whatever what series that is.
Oh
With
yeah,
the
with Holly.
yeah, and the cop and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of rereading, reading for the first time a lot of his later work, and it's absolutely fantastic. I almost want to say better than ever. He's definitely what I consider one of the greatest authors of all time for the just what he can do with words
Yeah.
and the images he can create and the feelings, and he can make you smell a room when it's absolutely insane. Um, so what's this black? What was it? What black? What that you're on right now?
So it's called Black House. Did you read The Talisman?
Yeah, I read The Talisman. Loved that with Peter Straub.
So it's part two of The Talisman. Jack
Where?
Sawyer. Yeah, so Jack Sawyer's grown up. He forgot what happened when he went to the what's he called it, the territories. He's
Yeah.
he's a cop. He starts off as a cop in LA. And it's the next part of his journey. It's pretty cool, and it really ties into the Dark Tower series as well.
Oh, which I loved, man. And that was when I was reading that as it came out, and there was like the first three, I think, and then like 15 years between the rest. You were just like, oh my God, it was so
Yeah.
good.
I think
You
he
were
got hit
just,
by a van, and he was like, "Oh, I could have died. I need to finish the series," and he just knocked it
yeah.
out.
Yes, you do, Jackson. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, see, I want to see that. Like, I love like he made The Shining part two. It's like 40 years later where the kid's grown up.
Yep.
What else was there? I read something else where the husband from the couple that was in the Cujo car, the wife and the kid, it
Oh,
was the
yeah,
husband.
he was in one of the short stories in the new collection of short stories.
Yeah.
It's
There it is, the sunburst color one, I think there.
that's Fairy Tale. It's hidden down below under Never Flinch, I think. I don't want to move
So
back to
good.
my pajama
Yeah,
box.
and I love the way he's tying all this stuff in and just like literally these characters are coming up 40 years later. And
You Like It
yeah.
Darker is the name of the book.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. I was just reading those short stories. And let's not forget Christopher Walken was in the movie The Dead Zone. He was the
Yeah, that's
character.
true. Yeah,
Might have to revisit that.
it's a good book. It's
But
very similar to modern day politics, kind of.
mm, yep. Yeah, he's so good, so good, so good. And just the way you read his 70s stuff. You're there. You're in the 70s with technology, with the way your everyday life works, and not dropping his stuff for 15 years and then coming back and right up to date, man, with just modern. You're in the modern world when you read his stuff.
Yeah, and I don't know, just the way he writes is it's so unique because he doesn't use flowery language. He doesn't load up with adjective or adverbs, or he's not overly descriptive, but he's descriptive enough so when you read it, you feel like you're there and you can picture what he's talking about. And it's a very
Mhm.
cool balance that he strikes. And whenever I write my books, I always read Stephen King at the same time, so I can get in that move and that groove and um, feel what he's feeling. So when I write, I've got the same vibe. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the best authors of all time, hands down.
So I
Definitely
never
my
got
favorite.
into to Stephen King books, but one of my very good buddies back home is he's also an author. And same thing, like a lot of his inspiration. He tends to write more like sci-fi horror type stuff, and draws a lot of inspiration from Stephen King. He turned me on to a couple of interviews with Stephen King, and um, his story kind of reminded me a lot of like the rock stars of the 70s and 80s, like really into cocaine and booze, and like some of the stuff that he would get into when he was trying to write his books. You would almost expect like the ability to tell a very compelling story to fall off as he sobers up. But I'm looking through his bibliography, and a lot of these books that you're talking about as like, some of his best stuff it's within the last 20 years.
hmm
That
He got
guy's
better.
been
He got
writing forever.
Yeah, he got better.
He got better.
when he got off the
Yeah.
juice.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
I think
And
Tommy Knockers was right around the height of when he was doing the drugs and alcohol. It's probably not one of my favorite books. You can tell the difference in the writing. Um, yeah, in my
Yeah.
opinion, he just keeps getting better with the stories.
Yeah.
Did you read the new one, Never Flinch?
No, I haven't.
It's good. I wasn't a huge fan of the ending. Maybe let me know when you read it if you liked it. But
I will be reading it soon, man. My
it's
Kindle.
a great story and it's well written. I just
Mhm.
felt anticlimactic to me.
That happens every once in a while. I mean, when you write 1,000 books every once in a while, you're not going to hit a home run.
Yeah.
You might only get a triple at the end. You know, I could cut him that slack, I think. Oh, I
What's
can't wait to
y'all's
check.
favorite title from Stephen King? Can you pick just one?
And
Mine
man,
was it's a toss up between
go.
it and The Stand.
Yeah, yeah, I was going to say it right out of the gates. Only about 1,400 pages, I think. Light reading.
Yeah.
Uh, no, that was fantastic. I read that in like sixth or seventh grade, and it scared the living shit out of me. Like seriously, you're just like holy crap. The Stand, another freaking absolute epic. I just picked up at a thrift store. They had $1. They have the unedited version of the Stand, which I didn't even know existed.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah, it's got like an extra 200 or 300 pages.
Yeah. So you can.
So
I don't know if you can. So this is
yeah,
that's the unedited version of The Stand, right there. I think.
nice. So you've read it, the unedited?
Yeah.
Is it worth the read?
Oh,
The extra
definitely.
juice in there?
Yeah, that's so
Nice.
much more to it. I
Yeah.
love it.
And again, his stuff from that era, from like the 70s and 80s, he was a different writer then. And I don't know, I absolutely love it. Another one of my all-time favorites is Salem's Lot, which I think was his second novel. Um,
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was his second. That was his
It
second.
was.
And it's so effing good. It's so goddamn good, man. It's just you're there. You are in the story, and the fear he is able to, and the horror and that he is able to invoke is just like, I mean, you're sitting there, you're holding your breath. You catch yourself like holding your breath as you're reading. It's phenomenal.
Do you know the priest from Salem's Lot is
Yeah.
Dark Tower series?
Oh, I don't remember him being in Dark. I haven't read Dark Tower since in like 20 years. I might have to redo that.
So yeah, read Salem's Lot, and then he's in
Where
the Dark
was he? I remember the character, of course, but where did he come up in the Dark Tower?
I think it was right around the times of Wolves of the Kala, if I remember right. Somewhere in there.
Okay.
He's actually in the what the hell's the world called? The Roland's World, the
Yeah,
territory,
God,
whatever.
what the hell that is. It's so good.
hmm
Jangles, you got to read some Stephen King here, buddy.
Yeah, I'm making a list here. Man,
Yeah.
he's just so versatile. Like a lot of this stuff. I've always been a big film guy, movie guy, and a lot of these things I would never know they were like. Wasn't Shawshank Stephen King?
Yeah,
Green
absolutely.
Mile, The
That
Shining,
might be the
Insomnia.
second best movie, second best screenplay, I think, was Shawshank. The Shining, obviously, hands down, was the most amazing movie
Oh,
from his
that had
books.
some help with Kubrick, right?
Yep, absolutely. But they captured it. Even though it was different, it was so well interpreted that they captured just the psychological duress and horror that these people were going
Oh,
through.
absolute
You
terror, man. So that was my first. I'll share a little high school story. My first time ever taking magic mushrooms. I came home and my brother was on the couch, had just pushed play on The Shining. He's like, "Oh, you gotta watch this. You
No,
gotta
that's
watch
not a good
this."
idea. Oh no.
I was like 17. Oh man. Yeah, I mean the Shining just it's next level fear. It's such a terrifying.
Did you
Yeah,
watch the whole thing,
Kubrick.
John
I
Musker?
watched the whole thing. Yeah.
Dude, that hats off to you, man. That you are a psychologic or a God damn it, word salad. Ah,
Jackson.
psychiatric. It's like a fucking psychedelic warrior.
Psychedelic. There's the word.
Psychedelic.
uh
Psychedelic warrior, my friend.
yeah, very
That's
very intense memories are forever tied to The Shining. But yeah, I mean like The Green Mile is another fantastic movie that
oh
I had no idea until much later that was Stephen King.
And it follows the
yeah.
book so closely.
Yeah. So does Shawshank. Those two are really close to the book.
Mm.
Shawshank, I think Shawshank's
Green
even
Mile.
different, I think.
Shawshank
is a
was
short story,
what
right?
was the story? It's called
Some of the poster.
God damn it. It was in a short story collection, wasn't it?
Yeah. Rita Hayworth. Something.
Shawshank.
Because yeah, the Green Mile, and then God damn, I can't think of the story that the Shawshank Redemption came
Rita
from.
Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption is the name of the short story.
Hmm.
But that's like kind of new,
Oh
right?
yeah.
I remember just stumbling across that. I think it was based on.
So it's published,
1982.
yeah, in different seasons.
Okay. In different seasons, right?
Hmm.
I'm wondering if some things have gotten renamed. The way they like change copyright dates on record albums and rename some stuff.
Maybe, you never know.
Yeah. Seem
Hmm.
to recall it being called something else, but Jangles, read some old school Stephen King and just blow your
I need to.
mind. I'd start with some of the old stuff, man. Make freaking
Well,
go
both of
through
you
start
guys
to finish.
call out The Stand and It. I think that's probably a good starting point.
I mean, the stand is basically COVID, not basically COVID, but a plague. It wipes out humanity.
I like It better. I would start with that.
It,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like a coming of age story with a scary clown.
Like the
Mhm.
Skinwalker. Should we close out with the Skinwalker?
Yeah.
I think I might have to change the artwork on the thumbnail. Well, I haven't used the Skinwalker yet, but he's come up a number of times so far. Oh
And
man.
edit it so it's even lower than it
Yeah,
actually is in
just
the
put the
code.
face. Just the tip of his hood.
Just his eyes coming up like.
Oh boy, funny stuff. All right, Joey, let's get you out of here, man. Absolute pleasure as always hosting you, dude. I always enjoy our conversations and looking forward to a lot of this stuff coming into fruition, man. Keep up the good work. Your stuff does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. I think, looking back at the last town hall, that was the most entertaining segment I think we've had in a town hall in a long time. It was an appearance from Joey plus Gone Fizzlebit plus. We got the whole range of voice acting skills from Joey, which was absolutely entertaining.
Well, thanks,
Um,
Pete Angles. I appreciate it.
there he is. There's Gon. Yeah. So we keep up the good work, man. We appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing this stuff come more into, like how do we bridge lore into the gameplay a little bit more.
Mhm.
And you sound like you've got, a whole list of different ideas on in terms of how do we achieve that, and exciting stuff to see how you build that bridge and ultimately achieve that goal, dude.
Yeah, man, I look forward to it. Thanks for having me on. I always have a good time on here, and it's good to hang out with you and Jimmy.
Hell yeah.
Good hanging out with you too. I do have to say I like your mustache. He's got
There
one.
it is.
Actually,
There it
I think
is.
we have like the same mustache pretty much. It looks like we might actually have the same mustache with almost the same coloration now that I'm looking closely.
Yeah,
Did you guys plan that?
yeah, we're
Black hats and
Black
stashes.
hats.
he took his hat
That's
off.
right. I did take my hat off. There we go.
There
Oh
we
no,
are.
not your hat's on.
All right,
Man,
everybody,
and
we'll be back in. And Joey, we're actually trying to. I need to reach out to Tyler. Shout out to Dave. He teed up the interest, and I guess Tyler is interested in coming on to a show. So look forward to hearing the mind of the UX UI master kind
Yeah,
of
he's
share
awesome.
stories with us.
That'd be a good time for you guys.
Sweet. Awesome. All right, everybody. Well, appreciate you guys tuning in. We will see you next week. In the meantime, you have been listening to
the People's Guild.
Welcome to the People's Guild.
Splinterlands. Pretoria.
For guests all across the mythical land of Pretoria, tune in.
Come in.
Welcome to the People's Guild. Another week, another guest.
Pretoria. Pretoria. Tune in. Come in.
Welcome to the People's Guild. Another week, another guest.